let's carry right along with this project. And this right here is a stainless steel all thread. Had some damage to it. It don't corrode. And do not use this as the sacrificial anode. You will produce a different kind of gas on your tank. Just do not do that. And you know, maybe a disclaimer, heads up. Maybe a disclaimer should be here. If you're watching this video, do not rely on it solely to set your tank up. There is many more variables and cautions that should be taken into consideration when doing electrolysis rust removal. So do your homework. It's dangerous if it's not done correctly. The only thing I use this for right here is to hang the parts on. It's never in the liquid, never in solution. And you can see there's no erosion on it, and I have used this for like a year or more. Let's put it, and I drilled a hole up yonder in the wall where I can put that in there, and it makes it easier to work with. And I got a couple old valves there, and you can see all I've done is they have been sandblasted at some point in time. I can tell that already. But I just wanted to clean them up and get some measurements on them and use them for show and tell. Now I'll show you something right here. Y'all see that big old loop right there? Okay, if you hang that on the cross piece like that right there, you might not get a good contact. See what I'm talking about? If you just hang that on there freely, you might not get a good contact. So to get a good contact on that, and you don't have to take the pliers and get these tight. But what you do is you make a sharp bend. Not a half moon thing. You make a sharp bend in your wire. That way, when you hang it on here, and like that right there, now you've got spring action. You've made good contact there. That was clean, rusty metal down there, but it was clean enough that it should make electrical contact. And I'll put these in there, and if I take it out and one of these are not clean, and the only thing I use is this wire brush right here. No water will be put on these parts at any time. If you wash these in water, they'll rust. So, and the only thing I use is this. That's a 6-inch wire brush right there. It's made in some foreign country, but it's a real good one. And so, and we got a couple of valves on there, and I'll just show you something as we go along that I have found that works for me. It may not work for you. And this was some parts that was gifted. These were gifted to me a couple of days ago. My son gave me these parts right here, and I'll just show you how I would work with this pile of parts. These are for an M. One thing I did notice right there that I'll bring your attention. You see how thin that little shoe right there is wore? It's almost paper thin. And this one over here, it's brand new right here, and then it's wore right in there about half as much as that one is. So something was askew on this engine. And this will definitely have to be built back up right here on both sides with some brace. Brace works really good right here. Build you up some brace and then reform it to match up this part right over here. And the reason that it wore like that is this was not, it didn't have a spacer in it. It should have been back this way. But as much as this one is worn compared to that one, I'll say that this was probably bent at some time. But this is the kind of part you will find. It's rusted, it's dry, it's really, really deep rust in that part. And we're going to clean it. Now, you do have to make electrical connection here. So let's just say we'd use this wire right here. And these wires right here, again, I've used these wires for untold a year, let's say. Let's just call it a year and be done with it. And this is the part. Okay, I can see thread. I can see bare metal down in that thread hole. And it has been wire brushed right there. I'd say to see the part number or something. So, that hole in there is clean. This hole, I would put that right down in there, make a circle around this right here, and that's the way I would wire that up. You see what I've done right there? That's how simple that was. And I can feel it's tight. It made a tight connection when I drawed that around through there. Now, on this part right here, the major surface area to be cleaned is this part here and this part here. So if you put this in the tank in the direction where this was facing the sacrificial anode, then it would clean this area here, and the other one would clean the same area on the other side. So I do want this part here facing the anode, and I put this in the tank crossways, and the graphite will be right over here. So this should be it like this. Make your sharp bend in the wire up there, very sharp, and then when you hang this on here, that's all it was. So we've got 3 parts on here so far, and the direction of cleaning will go this way right here. But these right here are so small, and something round, actually half of it is the surface area this way, and half of it's the surface area there. So most of the time it cleans these all the way around. And the same way here, this is at a taper, so it would come out of the mold, so it actually gets a cleaning action. And the close proximity and the size of the tank, you don't have to turn these at a different angle. Most of the time they will clean the whole part. If not, just put it back in the tank. And right here, well, let's see, governor weights. And you see how this whole thing is put together? A couple spacer washer, a lock nut. Oh, it is loose. Looked out on that. And it's dry, but it's rusted. Somebody has probably cleaned this in the past and set it aside. So I would disassemble all of this, and I can see bare metal right here. So I would take the wire and just run right around there where it's bare metal to make contact. And then this weight, you know, it's rusted everywhere, but I think what I would do is put it right down on there like that, and then these two spacer washers, I would just put, no, I wouldn't put them there. I wouldn't do that. Here's a nut. Right here's a nut, got some paint on it. It's not too rusty, but I'd just throw that on there for a freebie. Okay, now this right here, I want it to clean kind of long ways. So I would hang that with the bend up there like that. Like that. Okay, I would hang that on here, just right in there, like that. You get where we're going with this? And now here's a part that's, see, it's been cleaned, but it's got some paint on it. It's not original. It's been painted at some point in time. That's pretty clean. So, but it's rusted really bad in there. But I think that will come out from past experience. So I would just put that down there like that, and hang that in there. Most likely this part will have to go in the tank twice. Most likely. They usually do. But I would just hang that part right in there. Now on this one, we got them 2 wires right there, so I would actually put that put that little washer right there, and the other one I just put right there. So it's good to go. And also, let's put these two pieces on here. Okay, that nut right there, I probably can get that off, but it's stuck on there. So on this part right here, I would just hang that down there like that. Bend it around where that can hang a little bit off to the side. And also, I'd probably put this part on there. And if it makes electrical contact, then you're a step ahead. But if it don't, then all you have to do is when you take it out and it didn't clean, then you, at that point in time, then you may have to take a file or a sandpaper or something and make it to a point where that it makes contact. And the same way, you just progress right along and hang that where the direction you want it to clean. And this part right here, as I was looking, throwed it out here on the bench, I noticed, I'll show you something. Well, it's a little bit, okay, it turned. It was a little bit tight. And had that been really tight, I would have probably left it in there and yeah, it come out. And the electrolysis would have probably helped free it up. And not all parts, you don't have to hang them all alike. You know, if it needs to be some other way, then do it some other way. But we got a special washer, a thicker one there, so I'm just going to slide it down on there. Hopefully it'll make contact. May not. And the same thing on the weight. Just slide it down on there and put that in there. And if you can tell, I'm hanging these at a little bit different weights, and also some of them are kind of hid behind another part. And if it don't clean, then you know, don't fret it. Just put it back in there. Now right here is a part that's got paint on it, but it is rusty. But somebody has just spray painted it and don't look like they ever put it on the engine. Just cleaned it up well, they didn't clean it up, they just painted it. So it does have a little bit of oil in yonder. I can tell it's loose and all. But I'm gonna put it in there. Now, when you put a part in there like this, let's say that you hung it like this. Okay, you're actually only contacting this part right here, and if there's enough oil or no contact, you can clean this part here, and this part here never clean any at all. Or if all of those parts are making electrical contact through there, then you can clean this whole thing at one go. So put that on there, and let's just to kind of help the situation, what I would do is, I got plenty of water right there. I would come up there, come across yonder, and make a loop right there. And now I touched this part and I touched that part. So that's the way I would put that in there to first go. And then that one kind of needs to be out there by itself. So I put it kind of, well, it ain't by itself. You can see it's just right in there among everything else. We got a couple more wires there, so let's just and kind of anticipate what the outcome's going to be. Springs are one of the hardest things to make a contact through. It's the hardness of the metal. And these inserts in this particular part, after you've cleaned them, you will clean a certain brand of parts. You will understand some of the characteristics. Okay, and you can war brush these and clean them and pre-clean them if you want to, and it does help. Some cases it's a necessity, but these are so dry and rusted good. Rusted good. Who ever heard of that? But it's not oily. So I'd put that right down in that cotter key hole, come around through yonder like that, and then I would come all the way around that spring right there, hoping to make some kind of contact, using up my wire right there. Now, and I just hang that, turn it where it's kind of free to itself, and put it right there. Same way with the other one. Let's see. Well, it's got a Carter key in it, so I can't put the wire in there. So I would just have to go right around that several times, and right around this several times, and you know, come on down there and get the loop even if you want to, and that takes up less sideways in this group of parts. So when I hang that up here, always keeping in mind that you want that to be tight on, and you can, you know, on this cross piece up here now. On this cross piece here, you can use a piece of wood. No, not wood. That has to make electrical contact. But you can use a piece of rebar or whatever you want to use, because this don't get in the liquid. It don't have anything to do with the process other than conducting electricity. And there's a valve that I wired up the other day. I'm going to throw that in there. Probably can show you on this right here. This is on there really tight. That set screw and that locking nut's really tight. So, you know, to get that loose, maybe I would run this wire around here and take it across over there and wire it up there. See what I did? I put that in there as two pieces together. So when I take it out of there and put this in the vise, put a wrench on there, and it should come loose. But most of the time when you do it like this right here, you have to put these back in the tank in order to clean the inside of that thread and the thread on the set screw. But remember, you are not removing any metal. You can remove metal with this process if you would like to. We'll get to that. Oh, okay, I'll show you something. That's all the wire I got right there. This right here would not be a good candidate to put in this tank because it's got grease. Somebody just took a putty knife, scraped the grease off of there, and it has a pretty good coating of grease. Now this side over here would be good to put in there. But this right here, you have to remove that with some parts washer fluid, gasoline, kerosene or something. But use caution. Disclaimer, but that grease needs to be gone, and then you put it down in there and it'll clean it really good. And also part like that has got a set screw in it, remove it to the point where you only have one part on any of these. You'd remove that collar off of there, and this is affixed to that. You wouldn't remove that. But and these right here, this metal right here is hard. It's a different kind of metal, and this is just regular old 1018, I'm sure still. When you clean this part right here, this right here usually will turn black, and this cleans normally. It's just the type of steel it is if it discolors. So we got these parts. Y'all see? Can you see that? That's how many parts we got. That's what we're going to clean. We're going to put these in the tank, and we'll leave them in there till tomorrow, and then we'll take them out, bring them back in here, and I'm going to clean them on the wire brush. Now I'll tell you something that's really important. Very important. Very, very important. Tomorrow, when you get ready to clean these parts, if you just take this whole thing out of the tank and bring it in here and start cleaning, wire brushing, then by the time you get down here somewhere or another, these right here will be rusted back again because of the water. So what you want to do is take you off 3 or 4 pieces, bring in here, wire brush, leaving the rest of them in the tank out there. And once you wire brush it on here to a dry state, then it don't rust. If you have a moisture-free shop, if you got a damp shop, you know, most anything will rust in a damp shop. Let's go back to the tank.